Hello again. We are on lesson 8 today on page 699 in your math book. It is called Analyzing Line Plots. In lesson 7, we made line plots. And in lesson 8, we are using data from line plots to answer the questions. So on page 699, we have the question, how many times a week do most people eat dessert? Well, usually we would be all together in class and I could ask everyone how many times a week they ate dessert. They eat dessert. But unfortunately, we are not together, so we're going to have to make up our data. So let's say that 2 people eat dessert 1 time a week. So I find my 1 and I make 2 X's. Let's say 4 people eat dessert 3 times a week. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 X's above my number 3 on my number line. Let's say 3 people eat dessert 5 times a week. And 1 person eats dessert 7 days a week. Each day of the week, they have at least 1 dessert. So now we can answer the question, how many times a week do most people eat dessert? So what number has the most X's? And I can look and see that 3 times a week has the most X's with 4. So our answer is 3 times. And remember, we add our label. We're going to write 3 times. So when you're done that, you can move on to the See and Show page. And remember, if I'm moving quicker than you are, you can always hit the pause button and then just hit play after when you're ready to move on. So we're looking at our See and Show. And like I said earlier, we can use data from a line plot to answer our questions. So here they have a line plot which shows the number of students in each class at a school. So if I look, I see there are 3 classes with 20 students, 1, 2, 3, 4 classes with 21 students, and 1 class with 22 students. So our question is, how many students are in most of the classes? Well, I see that 21 students has the most X's. So there are 21 students in most of the classes at this school. So you can trace your 21 if you haven't done so already. So now we're going to look at the line plot titled Number of Hats. And we're going to use that line plot to answer questions 1 through 4. So I see the number of hats, and then I see how many people have each of those numbers. So question 1 says, how many students have 2 hats? So I have to find my number 2 on my number line, and I'm going to count the X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 students have 2 hats. Number 2 says, how many students have just 1 hat? So I look at my number 1 and count my X's. 1, 2, 3. 3 students have 1 hat. Question number 3 asks, how many students have 3 hats? So I look at my number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4 X's. So 4 students have 3 hats. And how many students have more than 2 hats? So I have to look at more than just one number for this one. Is 0 more than 2? Nope. Is 1 more than 2? No. Is 2 more than 2? No. Is 3 more than 2? Yes. So I have to count all the students in 3. Is 4 more than 2? Yes. And is 5 more than 2? Yes. So I need to count how many students have 3, 4, and 5 hats because all of those students have more than 2 hats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 students have more than 2 hats. So I think this is a pretty easy lesson, and I think you will be able to complete the On My Own page and your homework pretty easily if you move on now independently to complete the rest of this lesson. So I hope you have a wonderful day. And like always, if you ever need help with this, I can always meet with you on Google Meet. Just have your parents or an adult send me a message. Have a wonderful day. Bye.